I just bought an office. As of today, my wife and I are officially owners of an office suite through a new company that we created. It's not actually for me or my business or my wife's business. We created this company and we are leasing out this office space, the individual offices within it, to mental health professionals. And since, one of the goals of this is to create yet another income stream and wealth building vehicle, I thought that I might use this news as an excuse to talk to you today about multiple streams of income. Now, specifically, I'm speaking to most of my audience, my subscribers who are copywriter, entrepreneurs, and marketers. And what I will say, though, is if you are not in that group, but you're still interested in building multiple streams of income, you might find this episode valuable. And regardless, if you find this valuable and you want more content like this, hit like, hit subscribe, and that way the magical algorithms of the internet will help you out with that. All right, let's dive in. These are the proven direct response marketing, copywriting, and entrepreneurship success strategies you can use today to write your own ticket and create the life you want. I am Roy Furr, and this is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Now, here's today's breakthrough. All right, today's episode, as usual, sponsored by me. Today's link that I want you to check out is to my Small Work, Big Productivity training. This, when you come up with a big goal of something that you want to achieve, it is very easy to just end up in a situation where this goal is big and it's something where you have all the motivation and interest in achieving it, but for whatever reason, you can't get yourself to that end point. Small Work, Big Productivity is a method of thinking about all the big goals that you want to achieve that will help you get from here to there. And so check that link out. It is the first link in the description. Let's talk about multiple streams of income. But we have to go back. We have to go back to a place where I was not in nearly as good of shape in terms of finances. In fact, I was in financial trouble before I learned this one lesson. This was I still consider this the darkest days of my copywriting career. And it wasn't in the beginning. In the beginning, I got a marketing job pretty early, and then I had a great transition into freelance copywriting and had some opportunities, and I just kind of had a lot of momentum going for me. But a couple of years in, I landed this big opportunity. And it was project-based work with a big financial publisher, a lot of upside for successful projects. And I got hyper-focused. I have ADHD inattentive. And one of the things about ADHD that some people understand, some people don't, is that when you have ADHD, you can get super focused. It's not that you can't get focused. You can get super focused on things that are interesting to you. But oftentimes when that happens, everything else kind of fades into the background. And if something is not interesting to you, then, maybe you really struggle to focus on it. So anyways, I was hyper-focused on this one specific project, and it was fee-based. It was a project, right? So there was more work, but no income as I was trying to really nail this. And I wasn't doing a good job of managing that fact about this project. So I eventually ran down my business account, and I actually started drawing on my personal account. Now, a little bit of life advice here. If you need to do this, be good about communicating this. I was embarrassed to admit it, even to my wife. I did not communicate about this well, and it was not a good situation. It got me in trouble. So eventually, there was a meeting with my accountant, and my accountant told me, hey, if you want to avoid this in the future, you need pay the bills income and you need get rich income. So this project that has all this potential upside that you've been focused on, that may be get rich income, but you cannot neglect pay the bills income. You cannot neglect paying your bills while you are, chasing after the big opportunities. And I had been exclusively focused on get rich. It's pretty much what got me into that problem in the first place. And ever since then, even as I focused on, big upside, I've made sure to always be able to pay my monthly expenses. So I've learned to actually create income streams to really help with that. and not just chase after those big windfall opportunities. And honestly, like I've discovered that there is this huge power in coming up with consistent income. And don't get me wrong, those big checks are awesome. I love getting a big check and taking it to the bank, or, at this point I just take a picture of it. But I love getting that big check and having that big deposit, and it's great. But a lot of smaller checks or deposits can add up just as much, sometimes more. And it's actually even better if you can get both. If you can get the consistent income, if you can get a lot of money showing up from a lot of sources, plus get some big windfalls all the time. And that's like, that is really the way to go. And here's the thing. Some of that is not going to be based on the work you do. You can't just work harder. You can't just work longer without consequences. So if you focus on opportunities to make money, to create these multiple streams of income, but each one requires an active income, what you're doing is you're creating multiple jobs for yourself. You're creating a whole bunch of jobs for yourself. And that's where you're doing the work and getting paid, And you have to work harder and more to get paid more. And I'm not against doing the work and getting paid. I'm not against active income. In fact, it's what I do. Like, I do that too, right? But there is an upper limit to that. Working yourself into an early grave is likely if you are just focused on, I'm going to hustle harder to make more. And you also miss out on opportunities to actually enjoy your wealth if you don't find ways to do things that don't require just harder work in order to build your wealth. And there's less security. Like, if you have to work to get paid, there is less security if you run into some situation where you can't work. And so I love, there's this term, huge hat tip to Ian Stanley here. He named his company Almost Passive Income. And I love that term. The term that I often use for it is leveraged income. And it's where you're getting paid disproportionately to the work you do. So there's usually some work to set up any kind of income source, but you work once and then you achieve this ongoing income, which is, that's the cool stuff about leverage income, is finding ways where maybe there's some work up front. Maybe there is a lot of active time in the beginning. And sometimes there's a lot of active time before you start getting paid an amount proportional to the amount of work that goes into it. But then when you're creating these ongoing income sources, when you're creating these leveraged income sources, that can be extremely powerful for just monthly income or for wealth accumulation. And multiple income streams, which is supposed to be the topic of this entire episode, become way easier when you figure out the power of leveraged income, of almost passive income for at least some of your income. So some active income, some almost passive or some leveraged income. You mix it up to create as many income streams as possible. So giving some examples from my life, my wife and I, we're a 2-income household, which, that's an advantage in accumulating money. She has a successful professional practice based on getting her PhD in psychology and becoming a licensed psychologist. She's successful doing that. She has all the work she could want doing that, and makes a good income. I am a successful copywriter entrepreneur. And so I have that going on, and we'll talk more about sources of income within my business. But I do want to say that, in the greater context of our family finances, the fact that both of us work and that she has active work income, it's really important, right? So inside my business, I have focused on all these different types of income stream, right? So in the beginning, I started earning copywriting fees. Well, in the beginning, I got a job doing marketing, and that was great. And then I transitioned over into sales because I believed in performance-based pay, and inside that company, that was the one opportunity for it. So I took my marketing skills into sales. I generated leads. I sold our high-ticket training solutions, selling IT training in that business. But as I became a copywriter, I started getting copywriting fees plus royalties. So I made my I made my work as a copywriter leveraged from the beginning. Like I focused on opportunities to create leverage. And in copywriting, one of the biggest opportunities there is royalties and pay for performance. And by the way, I'll include a link in the description here to my copywriting royalties and pay for performance training as well. So you can check that out. So in the beginning, it was fees plus royalties. And then later I decided to expand that out. I realized that even the royalties there was a lot of very active work to stimulate the royalties. And I like to have different streams of income, different opportunities for money to come to me. So I did the client projects that got the fees plus royalties. Then I started offering copy reviews and consulting. And so these are just different ways for me to get active income, but it's active income that's coming from different sources, which helps with that pay the bills. It's something, if I do copy reviews, if I do consulting, that stuff is it's an hour of my time or a certain number of hours of my time. And that is the entire fulfillment. It's not this extended project with deliverables, etc. And so I can often fit those in around other work. Also, I've done ongoing coaching. I still have limited opportunities for that available. So there's coaching, still getting royalties, so different sources of income still coming in, different checks showing up in the mail or deposits arriving. And then I started doing things like live events. I've done a few live events that I've hosted. I started doing solo or individual training titles that I then packaged up inside my BTMS Insiders membership, which membership fees, monthly membership fees for recurring income, that is an excellent way to build an additional stream of income, especially if you have some expertise. Doesn't have to be marketing. Probably shouldn't be marketing. There are a lot of opportunities beyond the how to be a successful marketer for that type of income stream from membership sites or programs or etc. Also, individual product sales. Those are important, driving some revenue from individual product sales in addition to my BTMS Insiders membership, doing guest training for other businesses, like just different opportunities. And some of those are more active, some of those are more passive. There's also personal income and wealth accumulation going on. So from very early on, my wife and I learned, save at least 10% of all you earn and set that aside and focus that on growing. And so we maxed out our retirement accounts to get all the tax benefits there. We have brokerage accounts. Those are run under, two different investment approaches. We now have this new property owner or manager business, which has been a ton of work in the last month and a half. We have had access to the office that we bought today. So there was a lot of work to get the office ready and just in the process of creating the company and closing on that. So we're buying this one office suite. Maybe down the road, we'll buy some more. But the point is, we're just accumulating these different ways in which money can come in the door, right? And it's multiple streams of income. Some of them require more work or less work at any given time. We have the same number, 24 hours in the day as everybody else. We've just focused on, these are the different ways that we can add into this that generate some income for us, that generate some wealth accumulation. Now, some important takeaway lessons for you from this. Number one, this is an important note. Our income streams are uncorrelated, right? So there's two different primary businesses in the family, not counting this third one that we just added. Two different primary businesses in the family, which are in different industries. So if the marketing industry is not doing as well or the psychology industry is not doing as well, like they're not necessarily going to have good and bad times at exactly the same times. We have a diversified investment portfolio, actually one strategy for the tax advantage retirement accounts, different strategy for the brokerage accounts. We have this property management business. It's just all about, again, creating this diversified and uncorrelated series of income streams that all add up to wealth accumulation that is very beneficial. And thinking about it like that, thinking about it like, okay, what are all the different ways, and they don't have to be directly related, what are all the different ways that I can create income? In the beginning, it can feel like a lot. But as you go and you add these things, it starts to be very rewarding. So for example, maybe you're fairly new in copywriting, fairly new in marketing. You could start there, start in entrepreneurship. Maybe you're launching your own business, but the skill that you use and the ability to just manage projects and create value in the world and invest your money, like all of those skills are bigger than just, hey, I'm going to be a successful copywriter. And if you think about it, if you consider these alternative income streams, especially like not related ones, so, maybe you do have property management and that's going great and that's providing some value while also you're doing these other things, that's great, right? It's about that, pay the bills money versus get rich money. And it's about how these different things add up on top of each other. And as you're thinking about this, one important thing, I don't want you to look at what I just listed and get overwhelmed by that. You really can't do everything at once. You can't do everything at once. You have to say, what's the next best step that we can take? What's the next best step that I can take? And define that next best step and then take it. And the next best step and take it. And the next best step and take it. And this may be a long-term goal. I'm going to set up multiple income streams that are diversified and uncorrelated, and I'm going to have money coming in from all these different places. But you can't go from, let's say, having one income stream to 10 income streams today. Life can be short, but also life can be very long. And there can be a lot of opportunity ahead of you to, maybe you start with one, you add a second. You have two, you add a third. You have three, you add a fourth, right? But it's about doing one at a time, taking that next best step. And that is actually why I have Small Work, Big Productivity as the primary link with this episode, because that is about helping you define and take your next best step for whatever it is that you want to achieve, including setting up multiple streams of income for yourself. So check the links in the description. I'm Roy Furr. This is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Today we're talking about wealth building. But of course, I think that is why most of us are in business. Yes, we love the mastery. Yes, we love the game. Yes, we love, finding success and creating success through our skill and talent and hard work and creativity and problem solving. And we want to stack that cash. With that, again, I'm Roy Furr. This is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Every day and every episode, I'm here trying to help you grow your marketing genius and, grow your wealth building genius as well. I hope that you have found some powerful takeaways from this, and I will catch you again in the next episode. See you soon. Thank you once again for tuning in to this daily episode of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Remember, check out the links with this episode for even more value. Now make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and engage in every way you can to keep this show going and growing and delivering daily value to you. I'll catch you soon for your next big breakthrough.